What's going on, everyone? It's LJ, and it's time for another
Rock and Metal Update!
And so here we go. It's been far too long. For the past couple of months, work has been kicking hard. Finally, I'm kicking back, and here we are, back in the saddle again. There is a lot of build-up in terms of vinyl, stuff that needs to be shown, stuff I'm definitely enjoying, and stuff that has come from all over the place. But first, let's get a little cassette community love train going in the background. So what you're about to start hearing was sent to me by vinyl community participant by way of watching videos. Cool Cat goes by the name of Fraudum here in the vinyl community. And what he sent is the Music for Nations, the singles album. There it is. And that is new wave of British heavy metal band Tank kicking in the background. Double-length cassette, has Metallica, Wasp, Exciter, Wasted, Merciful Fate, Legs Diamond, Agent Steel, you name it. It is one hell of a listen. And man, thank you so much just for thinking of me when you came across that and sending it along. Because I know you dig stuff like that too, but you just don't dig cassettes. Fortunately, I do, and I'll get back at you, brother. You know it. So, what's first up? Let's check out Chrome Molly. What a phenomenal album. This is from 1988. I won't bother showing you the label on this one. It's just on the IRS label. You know the label REM is on? I guess they had Chrome Molly in there too. Chrome Molly has this big, huge, hook-filled sound. If you're familiar with the band Bonfire, it's a lot like Bonfire from the late 80s, but mixed with that big, huge Cult sound, the rock sound from the Cult. Epic, epic, awesome album. Great production, right in your face. Plenty of killer rockers. If you dig either of those two bands, Chrome Molly's Angst is for you. It just rocks and never lets up all the way through. Just hook fill. This album has more hooks than an angler's tackle box. You can't go wrong. Next up, here's one that cropped up that I've been looking for a nice copy of for a real long time. King Diamond's Conspiracy. This is an original pressing on Road Racer. This is the original inner sleeve. They took it out of at this point, and I'll show you the label. If you're familiar, this is just standard Road Racer label. I love this album. I love everything King Diamond has ever done. I'm a huge fan. This is from 1989, and it's tremendously, tremendously difficult to turn up a nice copy for a fair price in really good condition. As far as King Diamond goes, I've always seen a lot of people shy away from King because of that high falsetto singing and that crazy stuff. This, for me, has always been one of his most accessible albums. I've owned this since the day it came out on cassette or CD, and now finally, a really, really nice copy on vinyl. This is just magic in musicianship. Full of melody, full of hooks. I mean, every bit as heavy as you would expect King Diamond to be. But there are times when King's falsettos on other albums are just, they're almost ear-piercing. It's his talent, and it works. But here, it just flows in with the music so well, and the album is based so much around his voice and his range, you don't even notice it. This is a great album. And I guess, story-wise, it's the sequel to Them, which is also a fantastic album. Classic, of course. Conspiracy, I have to be honest with you, the story in any concept album, and even King Diamond's albums, the story's lost on me. It just does nothing. I don't get it. I can't follow it. And I listen to it to enjoy it, and that is one hell of an enjoyable album. Next up from 2012, here is Dokken's Broken Bones. When this originally came out, it was not released on vinyl. Here is the inner sheet that comes with it. It's got some pretty cool custom labels. Check these out. So this came out in 2012 and did not get a vinyl release. It wasn't until not that long ago that, what's the name of the company? Night of the Vinyl Dead. They did a run of 333 copies on vinyl. I am such a crazy Dokken fan, I had to have it. I ended up getting copy number 101 of 333. This came in from Germany. I believe it's a UK press. As far as Dokken albums go, it's every bit as good as any Dokken album should be. I've been very vocal about how much I just did not care for anthems. This came out, this is a limited one as well. 1,000 of these were printed, so a bigger run. It says John Levin and Sean McNabb on guitar and bass, respectively. This is Don and the band re-recording the classics, and Don just does not have the range for it. But when Don writes new material with his band that's suited to his weathered range, it rips. And that's what this is. Everything a Dokken album should be.
Rockin'.
Full of hooks, full of melody, and written for Don's range now. Only one misfire here for me today, and that was today. It's a ballad, it just comes off terrible. You know, the power ballad days of In My Dreams and stuff like that from the 80s are gone. But overall, definitely an epic album and worth picking up. Dokken's Broken Bones. Alright, who didn't think I was going to pick this up? Can I get the lenticular cover here to play ball on camera? I don't know. If you turn it around, there it is. There it is. The light doesn't like it though. Alright, so I was ecstatic. First of all, when I hear that Psycho Circus from 1998 is this kid's 18th studio album. First of all, it getting a proper vinyl release. The bootleg copies have been out there for ages, commanding a couple $100 a piece. Take that, scalpers! Gougers. Proper release. So it's one of the recent Kiss reissues and one of the few that I've bought just because I own everything else from Kiss besides this. Here's another quick tip. If you're out thrift store shopping, check out these Wyndham Hill record sleeves. These are like 2 or 3 mil thick poly inner sleeves. Swipe them when you're out at thrift stores. They make killer inners. Anyways, this pressing sounds outstanding. The fidelity, the sound, the sonics are insane on this. They sound so good. This is worth every penny. Now, as a fan, when this first came out in '98, I was stoked. Hot on the heels of the reunion tour, all 4 members back together, new album. You wanted the best, you got the best. Kinda. Almost. A little bit. Back to Kiss's old tricks, Kiss's old games. Not so much. So you got Space Ace, the man himself, Mr. Fraley, on what, 3 tracks? Sings on 1, plays on 3. Peter Criss, I'm not that much of a Peter fan anyways, but Peter drumming on 1, singing on another. Is it I Finally Found My Way? Peter sings, I don't even remember. It's a song I usually skip. You know, newsflash for Peter, Beth has left the building. Not a good song. Overall, this has some of my favorite Kiss tracks ever. No kidding, seriously. The title track, Psycho Circus, is outstanding. Into the Void, another great song. There's so much tongue-in-cheek Kiss humor here with lyrics like My Makeup Running Down My Face, songs called You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. Kiss knows who Kiss is. And Kiss was happy to almost poke fun at themselves on this one, which is a lot of what Kiss is for me. Outstanding album. Outstanding sound. They did a phenomenal job with this. Here's one right from within the walls of the vinyl community. Thank you, Ottavio. Guess I'm just a spud boy. Knew damn well I needed a copy of Canada's classic Metal on Metal, Anvil's second album. Not only does he hook me up, but he hooks me up, of course, with that sexy, sexy, sexy Canadian Attic label. I love that label. Proto-thrash at its best. This is an album that is kind of stuck between new wave of British heavy metal and its crunching early 80s sound like British Steel from Judas Priest, and thrash. That was from 1982. You have to bear in mind, speed metal and thrash, the whole West Coast scene, they weren't here yet. Even Kill 'Em All from, what's that band's name? 4 guys, Axe on the cover. Oh yeah, Metallica. Even that was still a year around the corner at this point. Just an excellent, I'm going to show you the back, but it's just a sleeve. Absolutely excellent album. I mean, this Rob Reiner's drums there is just like, if you were on the floor and Rob put on boots and he just stomped on your chest for 40 minutes, that's exactly, if you have to set the right volume and your settings right, that's what you feel like when you're done with it. Killer leads, just the rawness of the guitar tone here is insane. So happy to add that to the collection. And Ottavio, I thank you, sir. Next up, another one right here from within the VC. Maggie, 1204 Willow, had her trip to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it wouldn't be complete without her picking up something for me. Like, she didn't even have to do that, but did and sent it along. Maggie sent along some cool swag with some cool stickers, and also a Mind's Eye Records shirt that I'll wear in another video. I didn't think to put it on. But she also picked up a copy of Triumph's Rock and Roll Machine, and not just any copy of Triumph's Rock and Roll Machine. A copy of Triumph's Rock and Roll Machine on silver metallic vinyl. Woo, big deal. Well, actually, it kind of is. Because back in the day, again, remember, a colored vinyl release was a big deal. It was a big thing. You know, now it's almost expected, it's rule of thumb. But back then, it really was pause for the cause. You know, it was a special event. when something came out on colored vinyl. And this is definitely not something I had. Now, Triumph's Rock and Roll Machine has only been released in about 600 or 777 different configurations, different covers, international releases, and so forth. But no matter how you look at it, it is Triumph's stomping second album, which is almost every bit as good as the first, and I'm so happy to have this in the collection. Maggie, thank you so much for thinking of me while you were out there digging. I love it. Next up, 1988 power metal thrash masterpiece, A Distant Thunder from Helstar. This is on Metal Blade Records and an absolutely amazing album. Up until now, I've only had this on cassette. This is on, like I said, Metal Blade. So finding anything these days in really nice shape on Metal Blade can be challenging, let alone a gorgeous copy. Here's the original insert. Helstar for me, at this point, forget that they're still going, as a matter of fact, but this is, again, power metal meets thrash. So think Testament meets Halloween with vocals from James Rivera that they really remind me of Rage for Order era, whatever. Jeff Tice, Tate from Queensryche. Wow, I'm all tongue-tied. Just such a killer album. And this one comes to me by way of a very cool cat that lives not too far from here that decided it was time to thin out. Well, I decided it was time to bulk up for the winter, baby. From that same collection, and so thank you, sir, very much for thinking of me when it was time to thin out. Here is TNT's Knights of the New Thunder. This is from 1984, and this is one seriously killer power metal album. Here's the original insert. Power metal, I guess I would think they're a Norwegian band, so I would think if Iron Maiden hailed from that area of the globe and they mashed up with Judas Priest, you would get TNT's Knights of the New Thunder. As far as I understand, that I don't own it, they actually did have an album before this that was all in Norwegian, so I probably would have picked that up anyways, and I'm told, or I've read, that it sounds kind of like a second-rate Van Halen. So change the lead singer and you get a complete change of pace with this album. Absolutely fantastic, heavy and hook-filled all the way through. It's on the Mercury label, nothing too special there. But as far as 80s heavy metal goes, it's just a standard, straight-ahead, hook-filled 80s heavy metal album. You cannot go wrong with TNT. Absolutely amazing. Living proof that things can and will go wrong when you pick up albums. Here is Aldo Nova's third smoking heap of crap, Twitch. First couple Aldo Nova albums were actually pretty good. AOR, cool production. Anton Fig behind the drum kit. Should have been a great album. Michael Bolton on backing vocals. Don't forget, even he released a hair metal album right around 1985 as well. That guy was on fire. And then somebody extinguished him, and they extinguished this album right along with it, as it absolutely sucks. And that is it for this rock and metal update. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one, and I'll catch you in the next video. I think we'll do something with honky tonk. Yeehaw! Later.